All right. So it's been an interesting last couple weeks, to say at the minimum. 2 weeks ago, we had the West Coast Arm Wrestling Championships where I had a tournament. Well, if you want to call it a tournament, I had two matches plus a super match. Then, technically speaking, 2 weeks post not working out, minus maybe two or three times in between. And 1 week from today, we have the Medusa's Shaw House Supermatch Showdown, which is going down at Medusa Shaw House here in Victoria. So, in this video, I wanted to do a little bit of band work, kind of just talk about the process of finishing a tournament, kind of being in some type of delay in between, because between the last tournament and this one, it's a 2 week gap. A 2 week or 3 week gap. A 2 week gap in between tournament and another tournament. What am I going to do exactly? What have I been doing? My thoughts behind it, questions that I currently have, how I'm feeling, what should I do from a recovery phase. And I just wanted to break it down, have a good little intro workout, see how the arm's feeling, and maybe try to give you guys some tips on what I would recommend if you were in a case like this. To give you guys, I guess, everything in a nutshell, I prepped up for the West Coast Arm Wrestling Championships. Had literally 3 matches, so it wasn't a crazy tournament. Had a couple matches, and then not long after, I have a super match coming up that's literally just a couple days, in 5 days from now. I'm assuming that you guys have been in a position like this before, where you're prepping for a tournament. It could be a super match of some sort, and then soon as that is over, you pretty much have to do a quick turnaround, and then you have another tournament or another super match, and then you're probably in the same boat as me. What do I do? How am I going to make it work? What if I'm weak? What if I've lost weight? What if I'm not peaking anymore? What if I'm sore? So I guess I'm gonna stop blabbing here. We'll get going with some bands to get started. I do have some nice cold water with some EAAs in there as an intro workout. Okay, let me place this camera. We'll get a good setup going here. And we will get talking. So, today it is Sunday, November 10th. I know that because tomorrow's Remembrance Day. And the last match that I had, or match, I guess, match up tournament, not last weekend before. Honestly, I'm gonna check. No, November 16th. Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago. We are okay, what? The 10th, 1 week. Okay, my apologies, 2 weeks ago. Time flies, it's wild. Last tournament 2 weeks ago. Since then, so that tournament, I only ended up doing 2 matches. If you guys have seen the tournament video, I suggest you check it out. But I only did 2 matches plus super match and I'd like to say a pretty crazy after pull, because when the after pull was done, both of my arms were toast. But the 2 matches that I had in the tournament, they didn't last long. I got cleaned, like I got smoked. I got smoked by Alex Toproll, which it's funny. The last YouTube video I posted of the super match, several people were like, "I didn't know there was 2 Alex Toprolls." Let me clear the air here. This Alex, his name, for those who don't know, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse because a lot of you watch my channel know who he is. But we do have a guy here in British Columbia who is I've said this many times and it sounds like I'm beating a dead horse, but he's a previous Ukrainian and Russian national champ, current national champ here in Canada. His name goes by Alex Kurdyukov, aka Alex Toproll. It's not the Alex Toproll that 99% of people are not used to, but literally, if you were to look him up on Instagram or YouTube, he actually goes by Alex Toproll. So I had a super match against him. Obviously, that did not go near as planned. Did I expect to beat him? Honestly, I was trying to not be too down on myself because, one thing I would say I not struggle with, but maybe I could probably say I struggle with most of my life was just assuming that I'm not good at most things, and I think a lot of us probably go through that. And so the last couple of years, it could be arm wrestling, could be work, could be whatever. Trying to have the mindset that you're going to do well. Now the reality is I knew it was going to be an extremely tough matchup, and anybody, I don't care if you're 300 pounds, 100 pounds, anybody who can beat him, I consider to be elite. Would elite be appropriate term? But yeah, to get to the point of the story, I got killed. It wasn't close. I did feel a lot stronger than the first time I pulled him, but he also felt stronger as well. And that's one thing that I think a lot of people have like some type of misunderstanding in the sport of arm wrestling is you don't just, in order to surpass someone, so I'll give you an example. Let's just say that I arm wrestle you as a viewer. We arm wrestle today, and then I don't know, I barely lose, or I lose fair and square, and it wasn't really close. Well, let's just pretend that 8 months down the road, I feel stronger, and I'm like, you know what? I've been training my ass off. There's zero chance that he beats me this time, and then it becomes the same result. That's the story of most people. In this sport specifically, if you want to beat someone that you've lost to, at least this is in my experience, you want to beat someone that you've lost to, it takes a lot of time. Now, obviously, you can do it in a short period of time. I feel like, one, you have to be extremely driven, you have to be extremely focused, dialed in on your diet, your training, lifestyle, genetically gifted, hopefully, to a certain extent. And everything has to line up in your favor, and it does not have to align in your opponent's favor. And you can make it happen, but for the most part, you know, arm wrestling is a very slow building sport. You can't just do a bunch of steroids in 3 months and then come and beat someone and say, oh, I'm way stronger than him now. No, because now, if that's the case, you're most likely going to get injured, and then it's going to be this trickling effect for a very long time. So in the sport, at least from what I've seen, if you have a chance at beating someone, it takes actually, it could be at least a year, it could be months, but we're saying just generally, it could take years before you actually overcome and overpower someone's strength, generally speaking. Now, I know there's probably going to be someone in the comments saying they don't agree with that, but that's just been my opinion when it comes to this sport overall. Yeah. So I think what I'm gonna do right now is probably get into some hook. Make sure my mic is. I want to make 100% sure. Sometimes I'm tripping when I think my mic isn't working. I'm gonna use this black band here. So I guess I want to give you guys a little bit of an update for this upcoming weekend, and maybe let's start with that. So this upcoming weekend, as you know, those who follow me on Instagram or who have seen some of my videos here, I'm gonna try to put myself in like a hook position. We're doing I keep saying Supermatch showdown, but I mean, I don't really know what else to call it. It's essentially, for those who haven't seen my content, it's just a bunch of super matches going down at a club. Yes, like at a club. A club. Not a bar, not a pub, not an outdoor, like a club, like a legit club. Yes, like a club where you dance. And what's cool about this event, it's unique because this club that we have downtown, it used to be called a bar. The bar used to be called Sonoras. It was like a Mexican Latino vibe where you a lot of reggaeton music, sometimes salsa, stuff like that. But now they've transferred it to a club for, I was gonna say mid-age or young people, but it's more like mainstream music, stuff like that. However, I'm gonna throw a little bit of a spin on it. One thing here in Victoria that lacks, and this is just fact, and I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm someone who parties all the time. I don't live that lifestyle as much anymore. I definitely love to turn it up, get out and have fun, but this place, we're gonna be throwing on some house music, like legit house music and tech house. So it's gonna be very unique, and I have a feeling a lot of people aren't gonna like it, but I have a feeling a lot of people will. At least I'm gonna have a great time. I have no idea how the logistics are gonna go behind everything, because the reality is it's just super matches plus an after pull. This isn't an open tournament, but I've been very surprised with the amount of people that have found out about this event, because I haven't done a ton when it comes to promoting. Like, I've done Instagram stories, at least a handful of times. I've done Instagram posts. I don't have Facebook, but I've had several people reach out showing me that it was posted on Facebook. I'm like, yeah, let's go, dude. Um, and then when I was at the West Coast Arm Wrestling Championships 2 weeks ago, I had several people come up to me, and they were just saying like details about the event, and I'm like, this isn't a tournament. This is just super matches with an after pull. Very interesting. So my theory behind this, I guess my thoughts. If this event goes well, let's just say that I think I have to double check on my phone, and I apologize if I'm wrong on this, but I think we have it was like it was like 8 or 9 super matches that we have going on. So I don't know, 8 super matches times 2, 16 people plus spectators. Let's just say, I'm going to estimate, and I could be completely wrong. I'm going to say that if we can get 40 to 50 people in the barn, in the club, that's a win for me. We've gotten more people than competitors, and as long as the vibe is good, I think that's going to be great. So if that goes well, if next weekend, November 16th, which by the way I will be filming for YouTube, I'm hoping to possibly do like some type of vlog. I'll bring you guys inside. I'll do a whole thing on it. More to come on that. But if this goes well, then at some point next year, I won't give no details because I don't want to say something that I won't do. But if this goes well, I would say the likelihood of throwing a tournament at some point in the new year. Could be the end of the year, could be earlier in the year, I don't know. Possibly at the same spot, I don't know. But if this goes well, we're going to do like a legit open tournament. I don't really want to give any details because, like I said, I don't want to say something that doesn't end up coming to fruition. However, just keep in mind, you guys will see the matches on YouTube, of course. I'm going to be filming everything. I'm going to show you guys the vibes. It will be interesting, though, because this is happening at a club. You have to understand that the lighting isn't going to be the best. And of course, I'm going to be filming I'm going to do some filming before the event starts. But I want to show you guys what the event looks like inside, because it's pretty cool. Like you come into the club, you have a massive like bar area where you get drinks, food, everything on the right. And then to your left, there's a whole different room, like a square room. And off to your left, that's where you only get shots. And that's why this place is called Medusa's Shot House. Like it's a legit club known for their shots. And of course, obviously the music, the dance floor, all that. And so you come in, and what's nice, and I'm going to flip the camera over, and I apologize for all the movement here, but I'm going to show you something. I'm going to at least adjust the coloring. So if you look down here, there's a bridge to the left. Let's go right into that corner. So right over there, you're going to hit that bridge, come off right to the right, and right around there's going to be a road that's going to, I have to move this, Main Street here, if you want to call it Main Street. On that corner off of Main Street, let's just say after the bridge on the corner, there is it's Medusa's Shot House. I just want to make sure this is good. I'm trying to do my best to explain it. So Medusa's Shot House is literally off of Main Street on the corner, so people who are walking along Main Street are going to be able to see that there's an actual event going on, and anybody is welcome to come, which is going to be exciting. So I'd have to assume that, I don't know, I think I'm trying to be conservative, but let's just say if I can get 50 people in there, 50, if it's people from Facebook, if it's from Instagram, if it's from the local gyms, if it's from the public, if it's from spectators and arm wrestlers, that's a win in my opinion. Anything over 50, and that's including the arm wrestlers. It's a win. So, yes, next weekend, the Supermatch showdown is going down. And I also do want to clarify, too. I did say in a previous video that this was the first event held. I don't know if I said Vancouver Island or Victoria. This is not the first event that's ever been held here. In fact, there was actually an event held in Duncan, it's about 40 minutes north of here. That was held, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, it was at a Best Western. So just for any confusion, there have been questions about it, so I do want to clarify. From my understanding, this will be the first one in Victoria. in Victoria. So not a tournament, just a Supermatch showdown. But yeah, I'm super excited, man. I think it's gonna be awesome. The only thing I'm hoping that doesn't happen is that Saturday night comes and it's just raining hard. The arm wrestlers are coming. That's not an issue. But obviously the point of throwing an event like this is that you want to get as many people in as possible. So if it's raining, that's not going to help trying to bring people in the door. And what's nice about this event in general is because it's right off of Main Street. It's off of two like very popular streets here in Vic. People who are walking by, there's so many glass windows, and you could see the dance floor and everything in the bar. People are gonna see there's something going on, so that's gonna be the best way to get people in on that evening. A little bit of details about it. Event's gonna be starting at an unorthodox time, 5 p.m. are the super matches. I'm guesstimating it's gonna be roughly 1 hour of super matches. You know, minus plus or minus 20 minutes, something like that. And then I would say like an hour of after pull, maybe an hour, hour and a half. The event is like somewhat scheduled, the broad range between 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then I think 8 p.m. onward, they're actually gonna be opening up the club for the public. I mean, the club will be open prior to that, but obviously arm wrestling will be going on. So you'll be able to dance and do your thing, but it'll be mostly arm wrestling. Now, there might be people asking, like, why in the hell? I'm sure there have been many people have asked this, like, why is this at a club out of all places? But the other question to me is, why not? I think there's this stigma behind arm wrestling, and I have nothing against it. I'm just, I'm trying to bring a different viewpoint. I'm trying to bring different vibes, just a different atmosphere, something that's not normal. Regardless if it goes good or not, it's gonna be a learning experience. But there's just something cool about, I don't know, doing something at a club. Now, is throwing on house music at an arm wrestling event the best thing? I don't know. I mean, I love house music. I think it's fun. You can just hit your head to it. A lot of people love to dance. I'm not expecting the dance floors to be rolling while the event's going on, but it'll be just cool to happen at a club. And then when the after pull is happening, which I do plan on filming, I'm 100% going to be copyrighted because I'll be throwing on legit tech house music, some type of house, something like that. So I will make zero money from that YouTube video, but it's in the best interest of at least showing you guys something a little different out of it. The next question I have, I won't call it a question, but maybe the next question you guys are probably asking is, how am I going to manage my strength, my stamina? Am I sore? What should I do in between? Which is a good question, because this is where I'm not 100% sure. After the event happened last weekend, I was obviously extremely sore, and I took pretty much a week off. Like, not gonna lie, I went to the gym, I did a little bit of legs, but there was no heavy back, there was no arms, there was no chest, like nothing. And to be honest with you guys, I'm still sore. I'm legitimately still sore. But I've been taking recovery, I would like to think, very seriously. I hit the sauna 2 or 3 times now. Quite a few baths, a lot of supplements, food, eating tons of food, trying to get better sleep. And I actually hit the gym the same amount of times, probably 2 or 3 times. I was going to go today, but you know what? I'm not feeling it. I figured I would do this. So what would be my advice for anyone moving forward if they were in like some type of a conflict of interest where you have a tournament and a super match coming up so close back to back, and maybe one is more important than the other, you've been prepping only for one? Just take recovery super serious in between would be my say. I don't believe that in 1 week or 2 weeks of in between that you're going to be gaining any type of strength gap. Now listen, I mean, you gain strength with time, that's for sure, but are you realistically going to gain strength in a week and a half? Probably not. I mean, whatever your prep, whatever supplements you're taking, whatever, just keep doing the same thing. Just prioritize sleep, supplementation, recovery. If it's ice, baths, sauna, hot tub, anything of that regard. The other question is how I'm feeling. How am I feeling through this whole process of just chaos? Well, I feel good. I think I could be feeling worse, that's for sure, but I don't feel 100%. I have realized in the last week and a half that I've been getting a lot of issues. It's come back of the tendon that's going through on the side of my wrist down. So anything in a supinated position I've been having trouble with. Right arm, I don't have it as much, but I've been getting a lot of tension, a lot of tension on the upper forearm area. So if I were to like stretch, open my hands, and then go back, all this here has been extremely tight. And I believe that's coming just strictly from pronation. Pronation at the tournament. Yeah. Also, I guess I could bring up something else that came up that was an issue. I might as well clear the air about it, as we are kind of talking about this whole, well, just the tournament setting situation. So 2 weeks ago, you know what? I don't even need to explain. This isn't to explain myself. I'm going to do this once and only because I feel like it's not my job to come on YouTube and have to explain to my viewers about things that I've done wrong or prove myself to anybody. But I do want to bring up one thing, and moving forward, I'm going to do my best to never have to bring up these issues because I just don't think it's appropriate. However, cut to the chase. I'm not going to name any names for this situation. I'm just going to explain the situation and what I've done on my behalf, just so people can understand where I'm coming from. Roughly a month ago, Alex Topperl had a super match with Baby Hands at the West Coast Arm Wrestling Championships. And that match fell through because, as you guys know, Baby Hands is injured. So I messaged Alex, or I don't know how we ended up speaking. I think I messaged him saying, hey dude, would you like to do a super match at this event coming up next weekend, Medusa Shaw House? And he wasn't able to. So we just both agreed, hey, why don't we just do the super match at this event? We'll do it in the after poll. Somewhere along the lines, the communication was off between myself and the person who was running the event. And I mean, I could definitely I could be the one to blame for this a little bit, maybe for some miscommunication, but my understanding was this super match was literally going to be between just a friend and I in an after poll, like completely separate of the tournament. And I'm just going to hype the hell out of it. I'm going to make it seem super cool, even though it's just, I could have just practiced with them in the after poll and then went home and forgot about it. But I'm like, you know what? Let's kind of hype it up a little bit. I'm going to make a little card on my Instagram. I'll promote it on my YouTube channel just to get some eyes. I think that's awesome, right? We have, two names that are locally that people know of, and myself just based off. I think it's obvious. I do YouTube videos all the time. I've been training and been doing it for a while, so it's a good way for me to promote my own brand. It's a good way for me to promote the sport and to just have a lot of fun with it, right? The person who was organizing the West Coast Arm Wrestling Championships was on a different page about the whole thing. I think, like, I'm not in a place to say what this person thought versus mine, but from my understanding, this person assumed or thought that this was never okay. So the individual, when I arrived at the event, my opponent Alex went up and was like, okay, we're going to do the super match. And then the organizer was like, what do you mean? What super match are you talking about? There's no super match going on. And so there was confusion right off the bat there. I didn't know what was going on. I'm just like, I thought we were doing this in the after poll. And so it started off like that. The super match happened. And then when I posted the video, I did remove the comment, by the way, off my YouTube channel, just because I don't want the negativity. I have a screenshot of it if anyone really wanted to see it, but it's just, I wasn't 100% on board with what was said. But anyways, to get to the point of the story, the organizer said something along the lines like, if you want to do a super match, it's pretty sad, or yeah, it's pretty sad that you promoted a super match without letting the organizer know. And then I got the name wrong of the event, which that's 100% my fault. I realized that after I did the video, I'm like, shit, I named it the British Columbia Championships. It was called the West Coast Championships. And so anyways, there was a huge misunderstanding. So on my end, apologies. Do I regret anything? Absolutely not, because there was no malicious intent. There was nothing negative. For me, all my thought process was, oh, you wanna pull in the after pull? Cool. Hey, you wanna do it? Let's do a super match out of it. Yes. Oh, you know what? How about this? I'm gonna make a card. I'm gonna hype it up, make it super cool, and then we'll just do it in the after pull. We'll get one of the refs or just someone. It doesn't have to be a ref. It could be someone. Just the ready goes, and that's it. We'll make a video. Boom. That's it. That's it. But the organizer found out last minute that there was a super match scheduled that he was unaware of, that he wasn't impressed by, because it was never let known through him. Which I can understand to a certain extent, but there was also a miscommunication on my side where I thought this was just going to be an after pull. I didn't think this was actually going to be like prior to the tournament or something like that. Anyways, I know it sounds like a very confusing story. It's probably hard to follow along. However, I do want to clear the air that there was no intent to promote an event without letting anyone know. I was just making something exciting out of nothing, if that's how you want to say it. So, how am I feeling though going into the matchup? I think that's also an interesting point. So obviously I have a super match. I'll be main eventing the Medusa Shawhouse Super Match Showdown coming up this weekend. How am I feeling? By the way, I'm pulling left and right hand. Left hand, I feel good. Right hand, I feel good. I don't feel 100%. I still think I can get the win on the right. Left hand, it's going to be, well, they're both going to be tough. They're both going to be tough. I'm not facing someone who's easy. I have faced Sam twice. One of them, no, I beat him twice, but I can't take him lightly, because when you see someone beat someone on a video and it didn't look easy on camera, but it looked easier on the camera than what it actually was. Some people were like, oh, dude, that was so easy for you. I'm like, no, that wasn't. That was extremely difficult. So yeah, super matches this weekend. Sam, I'm going to be facing Sam Bull, left and right hand. Left hand, I feel a lot better than I used to. Do I think I'm going to win? I think I'm probably going to lose this one. I'm not going to sit here and try to float my own tires. I think there's a lot better chance that I win left hand now than I did 1 year ago. But do I think I'm actually going to win? I don't believe so. I'm going to do my best to make sure I do get the W. Right hand, I feel very confident in what I know and what I can do. I've already beat Sam twice. In fact, and this is not even out, and this is literally out of... No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna leave that to the side. Yeah, it's not going to be easy. The only thing is I beat him twice, provincials, and we've done a super match, I think 1 year ago, actually today. I remember I went in a hook with him too, and that was a very bad idea. I feel a lot better now, even though the tournament that I done recently, I lost 2 matches and I went 0-2. I still feel stronger than I've ever have before, to be honest. My training is a little bit different than it used to be. So we will see. I'm losing a little bit of weight right now. I weighed in at the tournament 218.2 pounds. Pants. I was wearing like actual pants, not jogging pants. A little bit heavier shirt. So I was probably, in the morning, I was probably weighing in at like 215, like empty. Heaviest I've ever weighed. I think for this super match, I'm probably going to come in slightly lower. I might be like 216-ish, 215. We'll see. I've been doing my best to eat a ton of food, try to stay up. Yeah, and go from there. What else? What else do we have going on? I have changed my training, I guess. After this tournament, The thing is, as you guys know, I will be leaving the military September 2025 to really pursue this full time. Now, this isn't going to be an overnight success where all of a sudden, I'm making a career off this. This can honestly take another 10 years. I have no idea. I just know the things I want to do. It's going to take time. But with me being in the military and working 5 days a week, 9 to 5, let's just call it 9 to 5, it's very difficult to put in a lot more time into doing this. And I'm not saying that my content's all of a sudden going to shoot through the roof and it's going to be the best stuff you've ever seen and I'm waiting for that one day for it to be perfect. That's not really how it works. You got to make a lot of changes now in order to live the lifestyle that you want in the future. However, I will be obviously leaving September 2025 to pursue this full time. And it's going to require a lot of time, money, yeah, it's gonna be a big one. So upcoming tournaments as of now, anything that's interesting in my opinion that's going on. The plan right now, Costa Rica 2025, February. I think the 23rd is the tournament. End of February. I'll get the details a little bit later. And then I'm contemplating, I don't know, originally I wanted to do the Buenos Aires, Argentina trip. But with me leaving the military, financially it's going to be extremely tough. Like most people, out of due respect, most people would not attempt what I'm about to do, living the lifestyle that I'm living. And I know it might come off like it's all good, but it's going to be the toughest thing I've ever done because I'm literally leaving essentially. I mean, I'm not going to say what I make on here, how much money I make in a year. You can literally find my salary here. I'll give you guys a hint. I am essentially a maxed out corporal in the Canadian military with specialization pay, living in Victoria. So if you guys can find that, there you go. That's my salary. I'm literally going to be taking all this to zero, like completely shutting it off just to be able to focus on this a lot more. So it's going to be, yeah, I don't understand why I'm doing something so crazy, but you just got to do what you got to do. Costa Rica, February 2025. I am contemplating nationals next year. I feel like if anything, nationals should be at least a go. And provincials, of course. Provincials I have to do. So, yeah, I think that's going to be kind of it. And I do have a super match. It's still in the works. There's talks. Nothing is for sure yet, but I might have a super match January 25th in Alberta. Word on the street, it could all cancel off. There could be big change. But word on the street is we will be doing a British Columbia versus Alberta super match series January 25th. So my prep start, I'm going to do like an 8-week prep for that one. And then chill out for a bit and then prep for nationals. That's kind of the plan. I won't be prepped for Costa Rica, to be honest. I think I'm going to be, really trying to get ready to prep for nationals, but it's for the experience, right? Yeah, and that's it. So I think I don't have really much else to say. Tournament coming up next weekend. You guys know a little bit of my travel plans. I have started to look at cameras for the upgrade. I'm not ready to purchase one yet, but I've been doing live streams. This stuff here, it's been helping for the increasement financially to be able to change cameras here at some point. Yeah, when I have an update on that, I'll let you guys know, but I should have one very soon. And that's it. If you've made it this far into the video, just know that starting this moment up until I don't know when, every Sunday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'll be doing a live stream. The goal is to do somewhere around 2 hours between 6 to 8 p.m. So just keep it in mind. If you guys are, I have people from Portugal on there. I've had people from Singapore, the States, obviously, people from Europe, Canada, Nova Scotia. That's awesome. So if you ever come on, shout out your city. Let me know where you're from. It's a good time. We can talk arm wrestling, whatever you want, and go from there. But yeah, tournaments coming up next weekend. I'm feeling good. Not 100%, but I would say I'm in the high 90%. You guys have an idea of how I've been taking the whole training thing seriously. I'm not training, but having a tournament, then a super match. So yeah, I guess for the rest of the week, it's going to be some band work, a little bit of gym, And that's it. I'm going to keep it there. So anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this type of content. I know there's a lot more talking in this one, not so much actually working out. Hit some bands, had a pre-workout, have some EAAs, and just chill. If you guys like this, you know what to do. Like the video, consider subscribing, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Until then, peace.